Ve'inyan efer al gabi mayim chayim, and the concept of ashes upon the living waters. Hainu kemo shekasu b'makom acher, like it says in another place. Shebechinas re'usad liba b'chol meodecha, that the concept of the desire of your heart and with all of your might, bli gvul, without boundary, hu b'chinas shelamay limit Torah, is a concept that's beyond Torah. So that's upon the waters is the Efer. The waters being the Torah, and the ashes and the desire of the heart, which is the ratzo of the fire that becomes Efer, is upon the water. And similarly is the concept of the first Chasidim, Shahiu Shohin Bitfilasim Tes Shos, that would stretch out their prayer for 9 hours, biyom, during the day. Mitoch shechasidim heim, but since they are Chasidim, haya torasam mishtameres, their Torah would be guarded. That davening of theirs was above the Torah; it would guard the Torah. K'muvoyin ze bebiur al pasuk shishim heim malachos chulu, achasi onasi chulu. Ulechein haya ha'efer shu haratzo b'chol meodecha al gabi mayim chayim shu haTorah, and therefore the ashes, which is this desire to go upwards with all of one's might upon the living waters, which is the Torah. Gam al derech shebishor shana gvuros gvohim ma'chasadim, and also this is like how in their root the strictnesses, the gvuros, are higher than the chasadim. The ashes are higher than the water. Kamailas hazahav ala kesef, like the greatness of gold over silver. V'chein lamayla inyan kiddush mechatas tala de bedulcha, and so too spiritually above the concept of this kiddush mechatas of the waters of the red heifer is called in the Zohar the tala de bedulcha, the level of the crystal dew, which is gvura vatik, which is enclosed in the hidden wisdom of Arich, of Keser. Because to get rid of the spirit of impurity, it needs to be through the concept of strictnesses of gvura v'lodai b'chesed levad, and it's not enough to have kindness of alone. You can know the gamkein minyan yud gimel tikunei dikna, and as is also known with the concept of the 13 parts of the beard. Shelachein hem sairos kashin, that's why, even though they correspond with the 13 attributes of mercy, they are harder hairs. They're not as soft as the head hairs. They're harsher hairs. Lakafos adinim. But the purpose of that is in order to subjugate, to bend over the judgments. Mash'enkin side diresha shehem she'in, which is not the case with the hairs on the head, which are soft. V'hine ma'asha sairus tedikna kashim yoser. Now this, that the hairs of the beard are harsher or harder, and that is because they come from this hidden wisdom that's included in it, the gvura vatik, like it says all this in the Idra Rab. Biur Harizal Sham, and the sefer called Barama that was written by Yaakov Tzemach, or in the Shar Maimori, or in the other Shar Maimori Rashbi and the like. And similarly with the Mechatas waters of the red heifer, Shem Lidchos Ruach HaTumah, that its purpose is to push away the spirit of impurity of the dead body. It needs to be through that concept of Gvura as well. That's included within the hidden wisdom. That from there is the main concept of bending over the judgments. And that's the ashes upon the water. Because this strictness is of Atik, which is higher than this living water. That the living waters, it's not regular water, it's not regular wisdom, it's hidden wisdom of Arich. Only that this Atik is enclosed within it. And that's the concept of this crystal stone, which is white. Vegavna sumka is chazibei, and the white color is seen in it. Vahinu agvura da Atik chulu, and that is the strictness of Atik. Or the red color is seen in it. That red color within the white stone is gvura of Atik. וכמו שכתוב במקום אחר, וצריך עיון בפירוש האידרא מהאריזל לדף קכ"ח עמוד בייס שם, and it needs to be looked into according to the Arizal's explanation there in the Idra Pirush de Gavna Sumcha is Chazibei, that he explains this idea of the red color seen in it, Hainu biskaluso bezachlu, that is, as it's revealed into Zeranpin, that implies that in its place, in Vuravatik, as it's in Mislabish and Arich, you don't have the red color, only as it comes down. So that's why you need it needs Iyun. Because this implies that it's the Zah, it's the Yerida that gives it the color, perhaps. Vine, B'kriyah Maksiv, V'hayu advarim ha'eleh chulu. Now in Kriyah Shema, it's written that these words should be Alevavecha chulu, upon your hearts. V'im ken Torah shehi shuv, and if so, the Torah which is to return, he al b'chinas haratza, that's upon and higher than this going upwards, because it's alevavecha, it's upon your hearts, on it, above it. So which is it? Is the Ephra on the Maim, or is the Dvarim on the Lev, on the Levavos? And as is written in another place on the concept of the two breads upon the two sheep, that the two breads is, I guess, the of Chag HaShavuos. It's the concept of the two luchos. It's the concept of Torah, and the kvasim would be the midos. Sheshtei halechem, or actually, as he says it here, that the two breads, Shahim Torah Shebechsav, Torah Shebal Peh, which are the written Torah and the oral Torah, Hem L'mayla min Bechinas Kesavim, they're higher than the concept of the sheep. Zeu Lefi Shebechinas Kesavim Hu Chagas, and that's because the concept of he says here Kesavim in all these times. As is known, there's a difference between Kvasim and Ksavim, where Ksavim is the shin, or the sin is first before the Beis, which is the inyan of the Midos, the Chagas. Lefi shebechinas Ksavim hu Chagas ta'arichul, and that's because the concept of the sheep is Chagas of Arich, Mash Enkin Hacha, and that's why So the Torah Shebechsav is above that. Mash'enkin hacha, which is not the case here. If it al gabi ma'im chaim, that we have ashes upon the living waters, above the Torah, above the Chachma. So lefi she'efer zeh achara Biur, and that's because these ashes are after the Biur, after the purification of the midos. V'aliyasu l'shor, and the midos go up. They're elevated back into their root. Rom is l'bechinas Gvura da Atikana. So it hints to the concept of Gvura of Atik, which is higher. And that's because the elevation of the feminine waters of the ashes, it's a concept of returning. The concept of tshuva is the going upwards of the ashes in the fire, whereas the water goes downwards. So the Efer is a concept of tshuva above Torah. Like we said before, that the bad is flipped to good. Ukanoda, the tshuva, enu daikal averos, and as is known, that tshuva isn't necessarily for sins, ki imal hapirud, but for the concept of separation in general, shenifrad melukus, that you're separate from the divine. And the place where the Bali Tshuva stand, that Tzadikim Gemurim can't stand, and therefore this reaches all the way up to the concept of Atik. Look what's brought up about the explanation of, like the new heavens, Binyan Ratzov Shov, Umati velo mati chulu, with the concept of going upward and coming back, the concept of extended and not extended. That this concept of the Efer and the water correspond with. You can further explain this according to what is brought in Parshas Vayishlach al Pasuk Vayavik Ishimo, on the verse that the man grappled with him, Shehelu Avak Biraglehem Ad Kisei HaKavod, that they lifted up dust with their feet all the way up to the throne of honor. That the concept of grappling with the Yetzer, which is symbolized by Yaakov fighting with the Malach of Esav, elevates as the concept of the feet, that your feet downward all the way on the bottom, so that's where it elevates from and goes up all the way to the throne of honor. Ayin Amud Aleph Ma Bein Efer LaAvak Afar LaAvak. It says Vayavek Ish. So it doesn't say Afar, it doesn't say dust. It says Avak. So what is Avak? So the Zohar asks, the Avak Tishtar Min Nura, that's the ashes that are left over from the fire. That Avak is actually not dust, but ashes, because it could have used the word Afar. Tahinu ha'efer. So Yaakov lifted up ashes then to the Kisei HaKavod, like we're saying here, is the concept of ashes on the water. V'nisbo Hashem the Pirush Shehelu Avak, and it's explained there on this that they lifted up Avak, Hainu Inyan HaTshuva, that's the concept of Tshuva b'chol v'avcha b'shnei tzarecha, with all of your hearts, with your two inclinations. I guess both of them together through the struggle of Yaakov and Esav, you're both of them together are elevating the Avak, the ashes. Val yidei zeh ha'avak shu malchus de klippa, and to this the dust, which is malchus of klippa, misparer, is elevated v'olad kisei HaKavod, and goes up to the throne of honor, malchus de kedusha, the malchus of holiness, which I guess is the concept of Kisei HaKavod, even though in general Bina is Olam HaKisei, but it has, I guess, Malchus of Atzilus is a mislabish in Olam HaBriya, perhaps. The Kiven Shechein Inyan Efer Para, And since this is so, therefore, the ashes of the heifer, Shu Bechinas Biur Hanal, which is the concept of this purification, the Malchus, the Noga, of Malchus of Klippas Noga, Idei HaTshuva, through Tshuva, V'hugamo Bechinas Avak, Shenichol Bekedusha Bechinas Afar, and it's like the concept of the ashes that are included within holiness, within the concept of the dust. Like it says, the language of the dust of the burning of the chatas. Is that what it says? It doesn't say efer srifas chatas. Anyways, that's what it says here. Afar srifas chatas. Therefore, it's upon the living waters that the tshuva reaches all the way up. Like also the concept of the living waters, it flows upwards through the earth, through the dust. Shehi ha'aretz, which is the earth. She mekor ha'mayim chaim, which is the source of the living waters. That the concept of afar is the source and the root is higher than the living waters, and that's where it comes from. So if you take the ashes and elevate it to the concept of the afar, so you bring it up to the source of the living waters. Rainu mishum denotes sofan betchilas canal. And that's because the end is tied into the beginning, and like we said, binyan domim sheshur shogavor mebechinas chai, like the concept of the inanimate, that its root is higher than the concept of the living. Therefore, the living waters are drawn from the dust specifically. And this hints to the concept of the hidden of all hiddens. This level of afar or efer. Because with you is the source of life, that from this level, that's where we say that Chachma comes from Nar, from the level of Ayin, that's its source. It's the hidden. That's this level of afar. I guess the ground covers over things and you don't see them, they're hidden. So it's like a concept of Yesh Ma'ayim when it comes from the ground. Like the Alter Rebbe says about plants, it's the koach that's in the earth. Like it's brought in Zohar Shlach, on the verse that it will be on that day, living waters will come out of Yerushalayim.